All right, it is 5 p.m. on the West Coast, 3 p.m. Hawaii time, 8 p.m. on the East Coast. I am Mad Statter, and this is Chatter with Statter. Thanks so much for hanging out here today. I see somebody's been hanging in the lobby for a minute. Rick, good to see you here. All right, so now that we've got the pre-show introduction a little bit more nailed down, unlike last week or last stream when I was doing the fancy pants Chatter with Statter starting soon, and then all y'all got that free backstage invite to listen to me chattering to myself, humming along, listening to the tail end of Andy's show, clickety-clacking on that keyboard. I got it nailed down this time, and I don't think you guys heard me listening to the end of Andy's show, because that's where I just was. All right, it looks like Elaine is here. Kenny from the Cove is here. Fantastic. People are starting to filter on in. It looks like I'm just curious if we've got the little gear that allows us to do stuff. And if we don't, well, we don't. But, you know, always curious as to whether or not it actually has shown up. Bear mail. Okay, cool. You're popping in to tell you'll be here after you go get food. Fantastic. Going to get food is actually some of my favorite hobbies. The only other hobby that I like, maybe other than going to get the food, is eating the food. All right, Andre is in the house as well. Excellent. I think it's time to get this party started. Did I just read what Kenny from the Cove actually posted? We got the gear with options. Yes, the gear with options is always what I like to hear. That way, folks who don't have the best or quickest, most stable or sound Twitch situation, you can tone it down. So if your Twitch is acting a little spinny, a little twitchy, and you don't know what to do, look for that little gear and downgrade your streaming speed or your input for my streaming speed. Make the numbers smaller, whatever it is that means. Yeah, there we go. Excelente. All right, so I want to thank all y'all for hanging out last night. StatterBox at the cinema. We watched Groundhog's Day. Once again, a Bill Murray movie from the 80s, having to learn, well, I guess actually early 90s, whatever. Bill Murray being a jerk, having to learn how to be nice, which is really quite funny because from what I understand, Bill Murray, like in real life, he's one of the most down-to-earth, friendly celebrity types you're going to run into. And not only is he the most like randomly nice celebrity person you're going to run into, there's a good chance you might run into him. I mean, he literally has been known to crash random people's parties or wedding receptions, and you know, he's Bill Murray. Like, everybody is gonna accept Bill Murray coming into their wedding reception to crash it. And he's a great guy, apparently, super fun to hang out with, always ready for a good time at a picnic or a reception. And yeah, Bill Murray acting like jerk on TV and in the movies, but in real life, super nice dude, apparently. Speaking of super nice dudes, we've got Andy Bumatai coming in with a rate of like 24. So let's see if I can get everybody here that just decided to pop on in. We've got C Honda, we've got Marilyn McQueen, we've got Medium 7 Up, Nani Aloha, Darlene, Rick, but he was here before, but he, I know, would have rated if he could, except for he got here early. Then we've got Bacola T, we've got Mark Aloyao. Oh, sorry about that, Mark. Nani Aloha. I'm not sure if I actually said you before, but I'm going to say you again if I didn't. Devin, Terry in Scotland. Normally Terry's a raider, but today he's I guess he's a raider too. Normally Terry's hosting the raids, but now he's on the raid train, I guess is what I'm trying to say. C Honda throwing down the 200 biddies. Thank you so much, C Honda. And we've got Carl in Arkansas. Duck Draws coming on in. Fantastic. Mako Newman. Gosh, you know what? I can't remember how Andy's pronounced your name earlier. Apologies for one of the mispronunciations since I went both directions. And Nani Aloha, oh my goodness, we've got 100 biddies. Andre, another 400. And then Marilyn, I'm going to say that's 5 biddies, which is awesome. It looks like level 1 hype train already. Mark, Cindy, 100 biddies each. Phenomenal. You guys are just great. Throwing down the pennies from heaven. I got to love that. Only I like these biddies from heaven way more better than pennies from heaven because they're not nearly as painful when they hit your head. So, Andy Bumatai, thank you so much for the 100 biddies. I'm super stoked for that. Okay, you guys. So, as I was talking about before the Raiders came on in, many of whom were at StatterBox at the cinema last night. Darlene, 200 biddies. Thank you so much. Oh my goodness. We watched Groundhog's Day, which is phenomenal. Now, next week, I'm not sure what we're going to watch, and we're going to talk about that for a quick minute. Hey, Yamamoto-san, how are you doing? Glad to see you coming on in. So, normally I have the movie all set up for what is going to be next week on StatterBox. And I did have a movie lined up, but the movie has turned into, there was a particular scene in the movie that was a little bit problematic. Not a scene like the last problematic scene that got us in trouble. No bare butts. But it's a scene that is a little bit indelicate in certain ways. And I figured rather than watching that movie for the Valentine's Day themed movie, we're going to save that movie for a little bit later and talk about the indelicateness, as it were, and have a discussion about it. But instead, I have a movie. It's called The Best Man, and I want this movie for my own personal collection. So I had to go out and buy it. It's currently in the mail to me, and so in theory, we're going to be watching The Best Man. However, I have to stop this talk to say thank you, Andre, for 300 biddies. Thank you, Kenny from the Cove, for 400 biddies. And I'm pretty sure I missed Darlene's 200 biddies. I'm not sure. And I'm pretty sure I got Andy's 100. So I think we've got everybody covered for that level 1 that we completed. Thank you guys so much. And, let's see here. Oh, Michi Mama, good to see you. I'm not sure if you were here earlier, but apparently we have the gear today, and you can, if need be, downgrade your feed. To make the Twitch less twitchy. Mako, thank you so much. I thought that's what it was. Sort of like, yeah, I thought that's what it was, but as soon as I said it out loud, I questioned myself. So thank you so much for your patience with me and for correcting me. Let's see here. Pocola T, sorry to miss Saturday at the cinema yesterday. Well, it was an old movie, Groundhog's Day. You've probably already seen it before. Although I have to say, I saw that movie so long ago that I really forgot about it. And, as much of a comedian as Bill Murray is, goodness gracious, that movie had a dark element to it for a while. I mean, it came full circle, but I had forgotten just like how dark it got, so hey, what do you know? Let's see here. Exactly, Pocola T. It is always good when we can lower our expectations. Oh, hey, Andre, thanks so much for throwing the happy killer emote. That there's little baby killer whale that I love so much. Anyway, as I was saying, so in theory, we're going to be watching a movie called The Best Man. Two things stand in the way of this happening. First off, it might not come in the mail. So there's that. Second off, and this is actually the most important issue, I'm going to have to watch it because, I'm going to have to watch it to make sure that Twitch will allow me to show it. Because, we already got in trouble for a bear bomb. And I'm thinking that this one might have a scene or two that might have something that could, we're gonna have to review that. So next Saturday, StatterBox at the cinema is a big mystery. I don't know what we're gonna watch. You don't know what we're gonna watch. It's just gonna be let's open it up and see what happens. And so, yes, exactly, Nani Aloha, Aloha Mad Statter. I'm here for the second part of the 3-hour tour. That's right. 3-hour tour is what we've got going on every Sunday afternoon. Andy Bumatai starting the show 1:30 p.m. Hawaii time, 3:30 p.m. Pacific time, and then I swoop in right afterwards to carry on at 5 p.m. Pacific time, 3 p.m. on that Hawaii time. And we like to make a play on the little Lost at Sea 3-hour tour, because Lord knows once we hit the waters in StatterBox, we're going to scatter, and we don't know where we're going to end up. So we might end up on a deserted island and in need of rescuing from the Twitch patrol, as it were. Thomas the Turtle, thank you so much for that 100 biddies. And yeah, Rick, we really do need to get a bucket hat design for the 3-hour tour, because I feel as though this cruise line has been going on quite successfully for a few weeks now. So, it just might be a regular thing. And Mitchie Mama, yeah, there's a lot of things about There's Something About Mary that Twitch probably would not approve of, for sure. And it's so weird, because now that one bare bottom got us smacked, I'm feeling like I need to sort of preview the movies, which is really unfortunate, because I enjoy watching the movie with you guys, and even movies that I've seen a million times before, like the movie that I had completely forgotten about that scene. And so even if I've seen the movie before, obviously I'm going to have to preview it, because I think we all know that my memory is less than, and we'll just leave it at less than. Oh, Kenny from the Cove gifting subs to all sorts of folks, bringing us to a level 2 hype train. Oh, Mitchie Mama, 145. Fantastic. Looks like level 1 was completed, and I think we got a little bit into level 2, so that is super flippin' awesome. Oh, Marbach gifting some more subs. My goodness, you guys, you're just coming in with all of the support for the StatterBox crew here. New emotes getting distributed now. Oh, thank you so much, you guys. You don't know how much it means to me to have everyone enjoyed hanging out with everybody here in this community that we're building. But unfortunately, in this community that we're building, sometimes I have no idea what it is that we're going to be talking about. Luckily, I promised you we would talk about one thing for sure, and quite honestly, until I just glanced at my notes, I'd completely forgotten about it. But it's a super important thing. It's absolutely important, but it's not as important as Marmac gifting a gift sub to Dreamcatcher 211851. Thank you so much, Marmac. I appreciate that support. All right, so I know that Vanilla Coke Pepsi is not here, which is unfortunate, because he's a young blood, and I think that he might really enjoy pointing and laughing, and we have an emote for that. He might really enjoy pointing and laughing at what we're going to watch right now. But what we're going to watch right now is, do you remember when I mentioned that Michael Bolton had a metal career for a minute? Just a minute, maybe. He had a metal career, or tried. All right, well, I don't know if you guys believed me, but he did. Oh, yes, he did. So let me skip that ad, hopefully. Skip the ad. Okay, so I think so even though I did the search for Michael Bolton, I think at the time he was actually playing under, if you look at the band name on the drum kit, it just says Bolton. So I think the name of the band was actually Bolton, named after, of course, the singer's last name, much like this band, same era, 1985. The first band was Bon Jovi, named after the singer's last name. This band, Dokken, named after Don Dokken, the singer's last name. This band, 1985, circa still, Motley Crue, not named after the singer's last name. And of course, now we've got Night Ranger, also circa 1985. You guys, I just had to go down this. And then we've got Rat, circa 1985. I had to go down this rabbit hole. I realized that the 80s were full of crazy, and this is Striper, the Christian hair metal band. I know that the 80s were full of crazy outfits and crazy hair, but seriously, the hair metal bands to me took it to some of the most extremes that make everybody giggle about the 80s. I mean, the 80s, this is the epitome of what people make fun of and love and hate and mock, right? About the 80s is the huge big hair. So I had to go down last night, went down the rabbit hole to grab a bunch of pictures that pretty much make us all want to cringe, right? Poppy Shaney, good to see you. Rockin' with Dokken, saw them many times. Yes, Rat. Yeah, dude, I saw Dokken, I can't tell you how many times. I will tell you that the lead singer for Dokken, Don Dokken, he actually was a bit of a diva. Like, you could tell even on stage that he thought he was just, hot. And it's just like, dude, Dokken really isn't. I mean, Dokken is not as big as Motley Crue. Dokken is not as big as Bon Jovi. I think you need to check yourself, my friend. I think you need to check yourself. But yeah, super fun hair metal days. And so I thought that we could all get a good laugh out of hair this big. I know that I had hair, this big. And yeah, Option, good to see you. We would definitely call that glam rock. Absolutely, we would call that glam rock. It's not heavy metal. I was, if you want to use the term metal, it's hair metal. But yeah, it's glam rock, without a doubt. And I would have shown Poison, except because to me, Poison is the epitome of 80s hair metal. But Poison didn't come out until 1986. And that Bolton video was circa 1985, so I tried to keep the correct vintage within the pictures that I chose, because, I went down that rabbit hole last night. Yeah, I went down that rabbit hole last night. And yes, Stephen Pearcy was the one on vocals for Rat, so Rat was definitely not named after Stephen Pearcy. Let's see here. Bukola T, do you think those bands were using Prel shampoo? I don't know, but I have no doubt in my mind that they were using Aquanet. Aquanet, most likely in the white can with the pink label, the extra firm hold. You guys know. And Poppy Shaney, Don Dokken, and George Lynch, the guitar player, did not like each other because they were both egomaniacs. Absolutely. George Lynch eventually left the band to create a band called Lynch Mob, which wasn't nearly as successful as Dokken was as a whole. And, I might have just scattered off into an area of expertise and knowledge that I'm a little embarrassed to have. But yeah, George Lynch, definitely super egotistical guitar player. Then again, most of the lead guitar players for all the bands in that era were super egotistical. It was all about their guitar solos, etc., etc. And it got to be a little painful at times because not everybody's an Yngwie Malmsteen. And most of y'all probably have no idea what I mean by Yngwie Malmsteen. But Yngwie Malmsteen was this Swedish guitar player, and he came in and showed everybody how to be the fastest little finger twiddler in the world. And, you kind of have to be really good to do that. And I didn't necessarily like his music, but I did recognize that he could play guitar real fast. And, so all of the little guitar players always, they tried to be Yngwie, but it never really happened. So, let's see here. So, Marmac, yeah, the hair and makeup on those guys was always better than even I could achieve. Absolutely. Let's see here. Kenny from the Cove, you met the drummer from Night Ranger, though, through a friend who played drums in the band that opened for them at one of their concerts. Nice. And let's see here. Oh, good, Andre, you're in the house with the internet works and you've got Thai food. Well, that's kind of a problem. I mean, not a problem. I'm glad you're in the house with the internet that works, but of all days to be in the house with the internet that works, we have a gear today that you could have downsized. But, oh well, at least you don't have to today. And yeah, Gene Simmons definitely has a big ego. But here's the thing, though. I am not necessarily saying that I like Kiss to the ninth degree, but Gene Simmons is such an iconic rock star that I kind of feel like he almost deserves the ego. I mean, not that anybody should have an ego as big as Gene Simmons, but if you're gonna be, if you're gonna have the ego, you better be like a Mick Jagger, a Gene Simmons. You really shouldn't be a Don Dokken. Right? I mean, are you guys picking up what I'm laying down? Yeah, Poppy Shaney, Lynch Mob, you're right. Mick Brown and the drummer and the bass player from Dokken all went to Lynch Mob, and Don Dokken went solo. That is true. And I believe, though, later on, if I remember correctly, and I might be making this up, but I don't think I am, those people eventually tried, excuse me, not George Lynch, but Mick Brown and the bass player eventually tried to reform Dokken with neither Don Dokken nor George Lynch, and they were using the name Dokken, and Don Dokken took them to court to stop using the name Dokken, and Don Dokken lost. He was so pissed. He was like, it's my name and they get to use it. Yeah, he was definitely not in a happy place. Oh, Vanilla Coke Pepsi, you are here. You're listening to the Tragically Hip, which isn't a private Canadian thing anymore. No, it's not. I don't know if you were here for the photos of the 1980s hair metal that I was hoping you could see and point and laugh at, but if you were late, well, you missed the 80s hair metal. What can I say? Let's see here. Andre, you don't like that Shed? They always said he better than Hendrix. I'm not sure who you're referring to that said they were better than Hendrix, but that would probably rub me the wrong way as well. And let's see here. Yeah, Kenny from the Cove. Yngwie is an amazing guitar player. I'm not a fan of the music that he creates with his style, but there's no denying that Yngwie Malmsteen is or was a hugely talented guitar player with very swift fingers. And yeah, Poppy Shaney, exactly. Not a big Kiss fan, but you kind of have to respect what they accomplished. I mean, they were the biggest band in the mid 70s, rock and roll band in the mid 70s. Yeah, Andre, Gene Simmons is the only guy I ever saw pissed off Terry Gross on Fresh Air. I wouldn't be surprised. I feel as though Gene Simmons and Terry Gross are the antithesis of each other. And even though Terry Gross is known for not losing her cool, I feel like if anybody could make her do that, it would probably be Gene Simmons. Yes. So let's see here. Vanilla Coke Pepsi, you were scared of Kiss as a kid. That Scooby-Doo movie with them traumatized me, and I thought the one with the big tongue would eat me. Well, the one with the big tongue is Gene Simmons. He also has a big ego. We were just talking about him. And and I know exactly what movie you're talking about. I think it's like Kiss and the Phantom of the Park or something like that. I remember seeing that movie when I was 7 years old with my cousins, and I can appreciate how if you were a kid, it would seem it was a little they were a little bit of a scary band with their makeup and everything. Mm-hmm. Poppy Shaney says, Jeff Pilson, the bass player from Dokken, has been playing with Foreigner for many years now. Wow, okay. That doesn't surprise me at all. In fact, that seems like a perfectly logical fit. And to hear all of these names that you're pulling out of thin air is just like, I mean, you might be actually pulling them off of Google. I don't know. But Jeff Pilson, I haven't thought about that name in forever. I used to be such a little rock and roll magazine junkie. I read everything about all the bands. I knew everything about all the bands. I mean, there's a reason why my motto always has been, if it doesn't matter, oh yeah, I know about it. Oh yeah, I mean, because hair metal is about the biggest thing that doesn't matter, right? Andre, you were talking about Yngwie Malmsteen, the Swedish dude. Gotcha. I would get really pissed off if somebody said that Yngwie was a better player than Jimi Hendrix, just because that's completely, you can't. There's nothing about their two styles that is even comparable. Not one thing. You can't. I mean, okay, they're both playing guitar. So what? They're not playing. They might as well. Their styles are so different. They might as well not be playing the same instrument. And so to even, I mean, talk about apples to oranges. No, I couldn't. No. I couldn't. I couldn't. No. Andre says, I always think of Kiss as the Disney of metal. I can appreciate that logic, especially with the movie that they had, Kiss and the Phantom at the Park. And Vanilla Coke Pepsi. Yes, that was harsh of Andre to say about Kiss, but I don't know. I mean, you know, not altogether untrue, though. Sometimes reality is harsh, right? And Poppy Shaney, you're not a huge Motley fan, but you really like the iconic licks that Mick Mars came up with. Mick Mars is actually a really underrated guitar player in the hair metal scene. He was so much older than everybody else that, you know, he was kind of just never, I don't know. He was a really good guitar player, but regardless of how good Mick Mars's guitar playing was, and it was, I will tell you what, Motley Crue put on an amazing stage show. If you ever saw a Motley Crue show during that era, then you've seen every heavy metal glam hair rock show that ever existed. Motley Crue, you know, they had the fireworks, they had the lasers, they had Tommy Lee's drum kit that went upside down, went over the crowd. One tour, he even dropped himself into the crowd. It's just, Motley Crue put on some of the best stadium arena rock shows of that mid-'80s era. Having seen quite a few bands, Motley Crue, even if you didn't like their music, they put on a flippin' amazing show. An amazing show. Poppy Shaney, that is so great that you are not Googling these names and you can still pull them up. As soon as you said Jeff Pilson, his face and his hair, I know exactly who you're talking about. I could point him out on which one is him in that poster of Dokken. I just couldn't pull out his name. I think it's great that that you A, know these names, and B, I know who you're talking about. That's just, it's embarrassing. So 24/7 MTV, that's exactly it. Vanilla Coke Pepsi, you miss MTV. That's where you fell in love with Avril Lavigne. I think a lot of boys fell in love with Avril there too. Mm-hmm. You don't know if it was MTV or Canadian MTV. Same diff, whatever. If it was Music Channel, it was Music Channel. Let's see here. When you were little, Andre, they had Kiss action figures, like something out of Disney. I didn't know that, but somewhere in my shed in my backyard, I actually have a action figure of Ozzy Osbourne, and it's got like these little bats, and one of them actually has the bat head is off. And it's got little doves and stuff. I think they made a lot of Rockstar action figures back in the day. So let's see here. Poppy Shaney, Mad Statter. Another fun fact, I used to work with Mick Mars's brother, Frank Deal. Mick Mars's real name is Bob Deal. I actually did know that because, like I said, if it doesn't matter, I know about it. I read plenty rock and roll magazines as a youth. There's no way I didn't know his name was Bob Deal. And, so let's see here. You saw Judas Priest at the Oakland Coliseum. That was a good show for what it was worth. Judas Priest also put on a good show. It was a big, they put on a big event, but it still wasn't over the top the way Motley Crue's shows were over the top. Yes, let's see here. Oh, it looks like OG Sumo Vibe. Oh, hey, OG Sumo Vibe. I'm so sorry, I didn't notice you coming on in. Yeah, I just showed a video of Metal Bolton back in the day when he was fronting the band called Bolton. And then we went and took a walk down memory lane in regards to hair metal of the mid 80s. And all sorts of pointing and laughing have been happening since then. Let's see, Marmik, you went to Crew Fest in Portland a few years back. It was fun. Oh, I bet it was fun. Let's see here. Kenny from the Cove, the Buggles are weeping over what MTV has become. Well, yeah, I guess, what is it? Reality killed the video star, reality TV killed the video star, which killed the radio star. I guess is how that worked. And, let's see, Bobby Shaney, Vince Neil's vocals were so bad right up until they quit. Yeah, he, from what I understand, he did a lot of cocaine, and, apparently cocaine has an effect on your nasal cavities and your vocal cords. Who'da thunk it? Oh, yep. Oh, yeah, dude. Oh, Andre. Oh, my goodness. So Andre's popping in with the reality of back in the day in the 80s. There was a big fight between the hair metal guys and the hardcore punk and Metallica in the Bay Area. The hardcore metal guys would beat them up and spray nail polish remover on their spandex to disintegrate them. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. Back in the day, if you just using the term hair metal or glam metal was enough to get you beaten up, because what Bolton and what Motley Crue and what Bon Jovi were was not metal as far as the hardcore people were concerned. And so you just don't even use the M word to describe that bunch of hairspray spandex wearing girly men. Yeah, I remember those days. So let's see here. Oh, hey, you know what? You're right, OG Sumo Vibe. Today is Bob Marley's birthday, and he had some fantastic hair. Not glam hair, but good hair nonetheless. Oh, really? The Buggles were from Berkeley. I thought that they were from England for some reason. Oh, I really didn't know anything about them. Clearly. And so Poppy Shaney, circa Metallica fans versus everyone. Of course, I love Metallica. Okay, so if you guys are of the era that Andre and Poppy Shaney and I are talking about, you might know what I'm about to get into. And apologies for those who don't know where this rabbit hole is. But hey, Poppy Shaney, when I was in high school, I had to share a lunch table with two rocker dudes. One of them thought that Megadeth was the best band in the world. The other one thought Metallica was. I don't think I have to explain to you, but I might have to explain to you what that means. Megadeth, the lead singer for Megadeth, Dave Mustaine, was one of the original members of Metallica, also from the Bay Area. Dave Mustaine got kicked out of the band Metallica, started his own band Megadeth. Both of them were competing for the kings of the hardcore music scene. Now, we all know that Metallica got that crown many years ago, but back before Metallica won, it was this stupid battle between Megadeth fans and Metallica fans, and Megadeth fans and Metallica fans. And I had to sit and eat lunch with one on one side of me and one on the other. Yeah, that was always, every lunch disintegrated into an argument over that. So, yeah. So let's see here. All right. So Vanilla Coke Pepsi, you're still surprised you've been on the earth as long as you have and never listened to a single Metallica or Nirvana song. My best guess is you have and you don't know it. lots and lots of people come back to, like, when they hear a song, they're like, oh, I thought I was listening to this song for the first time. I know these words. I just didn't know that it was that song. So my best guess is you probably have heard at least one Metallica song. In fact, if you have ever watched a hockey game with the Sharks skate out to a Metallica song. So you might have inadvertently, accidentally heard a Metallica song. As for Nirvana, that might not be, you've probably heard one in passing, but my best guess is you just don't know you have. And so Poppy Shaney, okay, the Buggles are from England, so I'm not making that up. Okay. Let's see here. Oh, I didn't know that today was Gord Downey's birthday, lead singer for the Tragically Hip. This is a Canadian band that if you know of them and you tell a Canadian that you know of them, you might even get a free beer. Let's see here. Kenny from the Cove. Motley Crue did a great over-the-top show, but musically, Metallica with Cliff on bass was the best metal show I've ever seen. Okay, so for those who don't know what that's all about, Cliff Burton was the original bass player for Metallica, and unfortunately, early in their career, before they were catapulted into major fame, but they were still pretty flippin' famous. There was a horrible bus accident I want to say in Sweden, somewhere in Europe, and unfortunately, while they were on tour, and unfortunately their bass player, Cliff, did die. And a lot of folks, they carried the torch for Cliff for a long, long time. Jason Newsted was the bass player that eventually replaced him. He's the bass player that probably most of you guys, if you're at all familiar with Metallica, are familiar with, because Cliff was not in any of the videos because Metallica did not make any videos until far, far into their career. They were very anti-video for quite some time. So by the time they started making videos for MTV, Cliff had been dead for many a year, and Jason Newsted was the one in his place. So now, there we go. That's some random musical knowledge that you probably don't even care to know. So, let's see here. OG Sumo Vibe. I don't know if we are speaking of Neil Young, but I love what you just said. Speaking of Neil Young, don't forget about the Minor Birds. Lead singer, Rick James. Who'd have thunk it? I don't even know if I've heard of the Minor Birds, OG Sumo Vibe, and that's kind of embarrassing to say. Let's see here. The OG Sumo Vibe, the one that thought Metallica was the right one. And Andre, you saw Megadeth. They're not as good as Metallica. Yep. I know exactly, Poppy Shaney. It's like, yeah, Dave Mustaine. Yeah. Peace sells, but who's buying? I have to tell you, the bass line for that, good Lord. Dave Ellefson, the bass player for Megadeth, the bass line for Peace Sells, but who's buying, is a really good bass line. So good, in fact, that it was used as the intro music for MTV News for, I think, like, over a decade. So, I mean, come on. That was a really good bass line. That's all. Yeah, it was. Exactly, Darlene. It was a meal breaker, heartache maker. Yep, exactly. That's exactly what it was at lunch. Yeah, Andre, I agree. Megadeth had some witty lyrics. Dave Mustaine was a wordsmith that James Hetfield, the singer for Metallica, just is not. Let's see here. Oh my God, you saw a Czech bluegrass band play Nirvana at a bluegrass festival. They shredded. That is super awesome. And I love it when bluegrass players go off on a tangent and play something weird. I can't remember what band it was. And this actually got some play, so somebody might actually know what I'm talking about. But it was some bluegrass band that did a cover of Snoop Dogg's Gin and Juice. And oh my God, it was so awesome. Not as awesome as the original, because I'm a fan of Snoop, but it was really a good little bluegrass cover of Gin and Juice. and let's see here. So Poppy Cheney's coming in. Mad Statter, I have such a warm place in my heart for Jason Newsted. Poor guy, received crap from fans, is brutally hazed by the rest of Metallica. Absolutely. Cliff Burton was impossible shoes to fill. He had an impossible job. And the fact that he hung out with Metallica successfully for as long as he did was a testament to his talent, his resiliency. I think he was significantly younger than the rest of the band, hence the hazing, etc. Seriously, Jason Newsted really, yeah, he was a good egg, in my opinion. I mean, still is, I'm sure. But yeah, he had to go through some serious, some serious heck. Marilyn, you know, funny listening to the background music during this discussion, right? I know, exactly. I you know, we're a group of many and varied tastes, shall we say. So let's see here. Vanilla, you almost had a heart attack when I said that I knew about the track Julie Hip. Yes. I thought that was hysterical, that you took it so startlingly. I mean, you know, there's one or two Americans that do know about him. I just happen to be one of the two. Yeah, Cliff Burton was 24 when he died. Yeah, I mean, they were, you know, they were near their beginning of their career. I mean, you know, they were only like, what, one or two, it was like their second or third album that they, I mean, I guess Garage Tapes wasn't necessarily their first album, you know, depending upon what you consider their first album. It was like their second or first album they were touring on when he died. So yeah, they were pretty young. You know, it was such an unforeseen tragedy. I mean, totally traumatic event. I frankly, honestly, I'm not really sure how, if I had been in the van when my bandmate died like that, I don't know if I would be able to get back on a tour bus. Like, you know, sort of, you know, talk about some post-traumatic stress disorder. It just, I don't know how they managed to get over that, because, I mean, I guess they had to, but like, you know, you just, what a feeling of being out of control on an icy highway, somebody else driving, you're asleep. Yeah. So let's see here. Yeah, well, Poppy Cheney, by then when Newsted left and Robert Trujillo came in, I would like to think that they had, you know, they'd grown and matured a little past the let's haze the new guy routine, as it were. Not to mention, at that point, I would like to think that, you know, James and Lars and, oh my, the lead guitar player, whose name escapes me, who's the quiet guy with the long dark curly hair. I mean, they already know, like, they're Metallica. The bass players sort of insert someone here, you know. I would like to think that they were confident in who they were. So, oh no, OG Sumo vibe. Uh-oh. Oh, okay. Wow, OG, you're throwing down some musical knowledge that I had no idea of. So, OG Sumo Vibe is shocked that I didn't know about the Minor Birds. And I thought he was kind of being a smartass when he was like, speaking of Neil Young. So, okay, OG Sumo Vibe's telling me, never heard of the Minor Birds. Did you know Rick James ran away from the army to Canada and joined up with Neil Young? No, I did not. Tell me more. What? How did that work out for him? Normally people who ran away to Hawaii, or not Hawaii, the Canada to get away from the war, they normally weren't allowed to come back, dude. Like, what? So let's see here. Andre, you saw Megadeth when they opened for Motorheads. I was more impressed by Lemmy's bass playing. Yeah, I can appreciate that, but to a degree, I don't know, dude. I only got to see Motorhead once, and I'm gonna sound like an old grandma who's got her cane and waving at it to get the kids off the lawn, but it was too loud. Motorhead, they turned it up to 47 And 11 is enough. It was too loud. It was too loud. It didn't sound good. It was too loud. Yeah, there you go. It was too loud. That's right. I said it. It was too loud. I'm old. So, let's see here. Vanilla Coke Pepsi. You really need to listen to classic rock. You only listen to the Tragically Hip and Guns N' Roses. Well, Guns N' Roses is definitely a good example of hard rock, but no, you really do need to listen to some different stuff. Let's see here. Metallica. Yeah, Metallica were so young when you saw them. They were opening act for Ozzy Osbourne. That's cute. So, wait, what? Thank you, Poppy Shaney. Thank you, Kenny from the Cove. Kirk Hammett is the lead guitar player for Metallica. Yeah, he's a good guitar player too. Like, I'm really kind of embarrassed I couldn't remember his name. Because of all the people in Metallica, he's kind of the one who bugs me the least. And, which I guess is why I couldn't remember his name. Let's see here. OG Sumo Vibe, Kirk Hammett. His sister has been your chiropractor for over 20 years. Awesome. Isn't it weird how small the world is? Let's see here. Guns N' Roses, as far as you're concerned, Vanilla Coke Pepsi will forever be the best American band ever. Well, you know, I am not going to lie. I am a little bit biased, and I am in favor of your interpretation of that situation. Some of my favorite concert memories do revolve around Guns N' Roses. The last time I saw Guns N' Roses, I actually was on the Guns N' Roses list, and it was kind of awesome to like go up to the door or the will call gate, and I'm like, oh hey, I'm on the list, and so they're looking at the radio station lists and the whatevers. And finally I had to tell them, I was like, no, I'm on the Guns N' Roses list. So they like pull the list from the very back, and there's like 5 names on it, and I'm one of them. And I have to tell you, it's not something that I like to brag about in regards to how big my ego swelled that day. But yeah, I really, like, my ego went, I was pretty stoked to be on the Guns N' Roses list. So there you go. And that particular tour, yeah, that was an interesting tour. We're not going to get into that story, actually. But Guns N' Roses, yes, fantastic band live. If you're on the West Coast, if you're in the Midwest, they're a horrible band to watch because the singer for Guns N' Roses always seems to throw a hissy fit temper tantrum when they're in the Midwest. And they usually end up going on late. Riots happen. It's a problem. But on the West Coast, they always showed up on time. And it was a beautiful thing. Oh my. So, okay. So, Kenny from the Cove. Oh my goodness. Okay. So, we have got a situation brewing here that I feel like I am in high school again, only in a different universe. So, we've got Vanilla Coke Pepsi saying, I never said that Guns N' Roses was the only band, just the best American band. Andre responds, I would not go there, Vanilla. Poppy Shaney then says, please do not say anything good about Nickelback. I know they're Canadian, but they're not good at all. Now Loverboy you can brag about. And now Kenny from the Cove is pointing and laughing at Nickelback. And Vanilla Coke Pepsi, very offended to even be thought of in the same breath and thought as Nickelback. Yep, exactly. Suddenly, I brought this upon the StatterBox. I don't know how to apologize. It is absolutely the 1980s arguments all over again. Talking about Rush. Oh, good God. Yeah. You guys are hysterical. How about them Lakers? I don't know about them Lakers, but you know, for back in the 80s, we might as well talk about the Supersonics, the Seattle Supersonics, right? Oh my goodness. Okay, so I think I'm gonna switch gears here before we start throwing soda pop cans like happened maybe once or twice when I was in high school at the lunch table. What we're gonna do is we're going to talk about, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna talk about this place that has nothing going on, but we talk about it all the time because we talk about nothing here, and we seem to be harping on this particular form of nothingness, and apparently there's a lot of nothingness to talk about here. Oh god, you guys are still going off on 80s. That's so all right. Yep. Yes, well, nothing is something because we got dark matter, and you know what else nothing is? Nothing is Minnesota. We're talking about Minnesota again, but we're not going to talk about Juicy Lucy's. We're not going to talk about hot dishes. We're not going to talk about Miniflota hair, hockey hair. We're not talking about none of that. We're going to talk about Minnesota's snowplows. They got some new snowplows, dude. And I thought that the snowplow names that they voted on were awesome. And I thought I would share them all with you guys because who doesn't want to know about the class of 2002, the Big Leplowski, or the Blizzard of Oz? Speaking of Ozzy Osbourne, the Blizzard of Oz. I know it's too late to put the genie back in the bottle. I'm sitting here talking about snowplows and all y'all are just, yep, exactly. You guys are going off. So, all right, let's see here. So let's see what is going back. Okay, wait, hold on. Scoop Dog. I thought Scoop Dog was cute. Darlene's gonna talk about that. Yes, they get to name their snowplows. They got to vote on it. Minnesota mndot.gov. Well, that's confusing. / name a snowplow. And we've got Edward Blizzardhands, No More Mr. Ice Guy, Blizzard of Oz, Plowosaurus Rex, Scoop Dog, Betty Whiteout, the Big Leplowski, and I think my favorite one is Control Salt Delete. I mean, that's very clever, right? So when I saw this, I just had to giggle. Because I didn't realize that people named their snowplows outside of Scotland. Scotland, you guys, has all of these, and I wish I could like zoom in for you. But if you can zoom in, by all means, do it. But dude, Scotland has, let's see here. Oh, I thought I wrote them down. Scotland has some of the funniest names. They've got Veruca Salt, Ready Spready Go, Mr. Plow, William Wall Ice, very whatchamacallit. Let's see, what are we talking about here? Very Scottish. Gritney Spears, come on. Robert Burns, that's hysterical. Let's see, what was the other one that was so funny that I can't, God dang it. Oh, Sir Grits-a-Lot. And then, yours, Vanilla Coke Pepsi, yours is called Buzz Ice Clear. Fantastic. That was good. Yeah, and so I thought that it was only, the Scottish people that named their snowplows, but apparently no. It was, it's like a thing now all over the place. So yeah, I love that the creativity gets to flow, and we get to name the machines all sorts of silly names. I know, right? Veruca Salt. There was actually a couple. Let me see if I can find the other one. There was actually a couple of them that were very 90s, 90s band. Oh, god dang it. Oh, I can't find it. But Snow Connery is one of them. Oh, License to Chill was one of them. License to Chill is a good one. God dang it. I wish I could. Oh, and then Sir Grits-a-Lot. Yes, yes, yes. So, yeah, they've got some great names there in Scotland. And it looks like Canada also does it too. Your neighbors is Fleetwood Mac. Awesome. There we go. There we go. Let's see. Any place else? Adopt a snowplow. Yeah, I don't, Vanilla Coke Pepsi. No, well, you guys don't name your snowplows? Just a Canadian thing, I guess. Well, first off, not every place has a lot of snowplows. Like, I don't think my town has a snowplow. So, no, we don't name our snowplows because we don't got one. But in Minnesota, they do. In Minnesota, they do name their snowplows. Let's see here. Let's see here. OG Sumo Vibe. If the Beastie Boys came to your mind first, not 007, when Molly said License to Chill, you are awesome. OG, honestly, it didn't occur to me that it would be 007. Like, duh, it's License to Ill. I mean, clearly I don't watch enough movies. If a James Bond reference as obvious as that, because it is a James Bond reference now that you mention it, yeah, License to Chill. Okay, see, I was thinking bands. That's why I mentioned it when I was talking about Veruca Salt and the whole, it didn't occur to me that it was a James Bond thing. Yeah. Yeah. I guess we know where my brain is. Music, not movies. That is it. Yes, exactly. Look at all these awesome people in the chat stream. And let's see here. Oh, side note, we are like one medal away from beating America in the Olympics, and Canada is so hyped up about it. Well, I am not at all surprised. I mean, I would like to think that if anybody is going to succeed in the Winter Olympics, Canada would probably be right up there. But a couple of questions, Vanilla Coke Pepsi. First off, how, like, you're in 14th place. Well, who knows what is are the Americans in, like, 13th, I guess. But, well, first off, didn't the Olympics just start? Like, you can't say that you're about to beat us because it's just beginning, right? I mean, the Olympics, okay, so it began 3 days ago. Now, my next question, Vanilla Coke Pepsi, because I'm clueless, how long do they last? They last like 2 weeks, don't they? I'm not a big sports ball fan of all varieties, so I'm really, okay, so it ends on the 20th. Okay, so you can't say that you're just about to beat us, because there's plenty of times for us to beat you back, right? Still though, I wouldn't be surprised if Canada does end up beating us. Oh, and it looks like Andre's saying that we're semi-boycotting it because of human rights. Well, that seems lazy and stupid. You either boycott it or you don't. I mean, like, what's the point of a semi-boycott? Oh, we're just not gonna send our crummiest athletes. We're only gonna, like, what? What? All right. Yeah, I mean, no, I'm not trying to, exactly, let's not get political. Someone should throw some Prel on me to wash my mouth out. But I just, like, really? You're just semi-boycott? That to me just seems like you're a little bit pregnant. Like, well, no, you either are or you aren't. I mean, there's no semi. But there you go. All right, Kenny. All right. Thank you. Yep. Reel me in. We let our athletes go, but not our president or political guys. Well, I don't want our president or political guys to be competing in the Olympics. That's what the athletes are for. I know, I was kidding. So let's see. OG Sumo Vibe. Shh, don't tell that to America Light. They need any moral victories they can get over the USA. Oh no, OG, we're gonna have fighting words between Canada and the US. It's gonna be as bad as Metallica versus Megadeth. Oh no. Yeah. Oops, did you say that out loud? Yeah, you typed that out loud, OG Sumo Vibe. You typed that out loud. That's okay. It was actually pretty funny. Oh my goodness. I am so sorry. I'm just sitting here laughing at all y'all. I mean, with all y'all, I hope. So, you know, yeah, conversation has been stuck on the laughter track for a few minutes. And, let's see here. Yeah, these guys tonight, you're getting me all hepped up. Exactly. Kenny from the Cove. Canada? Isn't that a suburb of Dallas? Oh my. I guess, you know, a northern suburb. Because, you know, after all, the United States is pretty much just Texas and Florida, right? No, Vanilla Coke Pepsi, no need to apologize about your dramatic but true words about Nickelback. A lot of folks don't like Nickelback. I actually... Okay, look. I don't know if this is something that I don't know if this is something that I should be proud of or something I should admit to, but I actually dated a guy who was a big fan of Nickelback. Like, he traveled to go see them in various venues, and even though he bought me a ticket once for my birthday to go see Nickelback in Boise, Idaho with him, I refused. I was in Boise with him, but I was like, no, you know, you can go. I don't want to go. But apparently they do put on a really good show. Like, they really have carried on the 1980s stadium rock vibe with their performances. Now, why they get such a horrible reputation, I don't know. Why they're so bland to my ear when I like that type of music in theory, I don't know. But it does seem like Nickelback is universally hated, except for by this one guy I dated for a while. He loved him a lot. Oh my God, wasn't last Sunday about hair care products? Was it? I think last Sunday, all I remember about last Sunday, I mean, it might have been, but what I really remember about last Sunday was me on my soapbox about getting suspended from Twitch. And I know that I went off on that for a while. But we might have fit some hair care in there because, you know, lots of folks have hair and I like to talk about hair. So, and then let's see here. Oh no. So, Darlene, did that then end the dating scene with that guy? Just curious. That's funny. No, we dated for many years actually. But I will say we were on a road trip together, and when we were supposed to go to that, and it did kind of sour the rest of the road trip. I think he really was annoyed that that I didn't go to the show with him. Oh well. Let's see here. So Poppy Shaney, Mad Satter, Picola T, maybe Molly and Terry can start a fight. Are you Team Lono or pick another Hawaiian artist? Just kidding. Oh no. Well, first off, I would be Team Lono, and I think you know that. So, first off, I think you know that. And I don't know what side Terry wants to take, but honestly, I'd really rather we both be on Team Lono. Yeah, no, I wasn't. Well, oh my God. And, OG, I only got suspended for 3 days, so I wasn't kicked off, but no, I showed a movie, not yesterday, Saturday, but the Saturday before, OG, and it had a 30-second scene in it where a Native American dude walked across a bedroom. He was naked. You saw his bare butt, and the nakedness of a bare man's butt on Twitch was enough to break a term of service agreement, and I got suspended for 3 days. So I had to stream on YouTube last Sunday because I couldn't get on Twitch. So that's why I know last Sunday's show was all about me being very angry and habut about being suspended from Twitch. So, oh my God, I think you're right. I think it probably was like the week, like 2 Sundays ago, was our hair care discussion. Yes, our hair care discussion. So let's see here. Okay, so but Andre's saying, yes, it was the butt debate, but I'd maybe talked about hockey hair later. Okay, I could have. I mean, things, things scatter. It's hard to remember where they scatter to when. And see, exactly, Picola T, you're also Team Lono. So what are we supposed to do? I mean, I have no doubt in my mind that Picola T and I, we can go to the optician, and then we'll get our eyes checked, and then we'll gang up on the other team. But who's the other team, right? I mean, what? It's going to be, what? Team Henry Capono? Well, no, I still pick Lono. Yep. So, yeah, OG Supervive. Yeah, they're really sweating that when there are streamers making 1.6 million a month semi-naked in the hot tub. Yep, bare brown butt seems to be making the algorithms angry. Exactly. So, Team Josh Totofi or Team Lono? There we go. I am definitely Team Lono. I am definitely not Josh Totofi. Oh my goodness. Did I just almost say what I said? Because that was not. So, okay, Team Is. All right, see, okay, there we go. Team Is versus Team Lono. That, for some reason, seems like a more fair fight just because they both play ukulele. Well, I guess Josh Totofi does too. Okay, all right, I'm just making stuff up now. I don't know what I'm talking about. But I do know that Team Is or Team Lono, I'm Team Lono. Team Josh, Team Lono, I'm still Team Lono. Team Henry versus Team Lono, I'm still Team Lono. And, yeah, a Freudian slip, but not. It wasn't. It wasn't, though. Team Lono is where my ears and my heart go. Yeah, so there. Team OZZY or Team Lono? I guess it depends on if I'm in traffic or not, because if I'm in traffic and Crazy Train comes on, oh, there's no stopping me. I mean, Crazy Train is my car song, is my driving song. It probably shouldn't be. And oftentimes I get so into that song that I forget to pay attention to the brake lights in front of me. But OG Sumo Vibe. That's right. Lono doesn't have free beer to steal at his concert. That is true. Although I guess if it's free beer, it's not to be stolen. And yeah, Ozzy Osbourne. Well, and it wasn't Ozzy who had the beer. It was the venue that had the beer. And it was actually the vendor at the venue that didn't lock their stuff up. So, I mean, why wouldn't I share the bounty with everybody who was there? I mean, okay, so for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, I can't remember where I spoke of it, if it was on OG's stream or not, but basically after an Ozzy Osbourne show once, we were walking by a beer vendor to leave the stadium. The show was over. Everyone was leaving. And the beer vendor, their cart and the refrigerator they were next to, the cart only had the tap unscrewed. And I thought to myself, well, just because a tap is unscrewed doesn't mean that the keg's unconnected. So I walked up and I went to see if the keg was still connected. And it was. And so I filled up a bunch of people's cups as they were leaving. And then I noticed, hey, that refrigerator that's full of beer, it's not locked up either. So then I started giving all the beers that were in the fridge to random people who were leaving as well. Now, all of the yellow-coated security guards, they were like 5 feet away from me, watching me do it the whole time, but they didn't work for that vendor. They worked for security for the venue. So it wasn't their beer to guard. So they didn't care. And so I was there for I don't know how long, just giving out free beers, because somebody wasn't smart enough to put the lock on their beer case at an Ozzy Osbourne show. Now, I'll be the first to admit I was not sober when I was doing this, but you know, I was the belle of the ball, so to speak. People loved me. Yes, exactly, Andre. So as you told them to have a safe trip home, I gave people beers. That's exactly what happened. Yes, I was like the beer Robin Hood, 100%. In fact, that particular show, I had a great time. Not just because of stealing the beers, but during the show, it was the front section of the venue was reserved seating closest to the stage. Now, once the show was starting, they weren't in their seats, so it was a little bit like rowdy. But then there was a halfway down the floor, there was a partition, and then behind that, it was general admission. And general admission is where I was. General admission now, and by this time, I'm, an old, jaded concert goer with decades of concert experience. I know how to read the crowd. I know how to watch the security. I know how to do things. Well, there were these teenage boys, and when I say teenage, I'm really being generous, like 12, 13 years old, maybe. This was clearly like one of their first rock show experiences, right? And so we're all three of us, well, more than three of us, but we're all still in general admission. So, and we're up against the barrier where the guards are to check your tickets to make sure you have the proper ticket to go further in closer to the stage, because you needed the proper paperwork, basically. Well, I didn't have it, the kids didn't have it, whatever. Well, something happened, some kerfuffle happened that took the security guard's attention away from that gate for just a split second. And I took one of them kids and I shoved him in and I said, "Now go." And he knew he knew because I could tell I could tell by looking at him, they were trying to figure out how to get up there. And so kerfuffle, and one of them I just, go. So he went. So then the second one's there, like, "Oh, where'd my buddy go?" Blah, blah, blah. And I was, like, "Don't worry, kid, don't worry." Well, something else happened. And so I just, next opportunity, boom, now it's your turn. And he just, booked it in. And yeah, man, I didn't see those kids, they went up front. And I was so proud of myself, and I was so proud of them, teaching them how to just break the rules at a rock show. It was a good night, I gotta tell ya. Just like tonight's a good night. Andre just gifted like 5 subs to folks. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for gifting all those subs there, Andre. Let's see here. So Andre, you only had your friends think I was great when you got stamped as an adult at a concert at the time when you were only 16. Hell yeah, your friends thought that it was awesome that you could buy them booze. And Poppy Shaney, I have to tell you, I am honored. In the best Spicoli voice, dude, I want to party with you, and you really mean it. Actually, Poppy Shaney, if I remember correctly, you drink kamikazes, and some of your stories, I think that I've got just as much of a dude, I want to party with you. Now, if that ever happens, I think the rest of everybody around us, we need to say to them, "Dude, keep an eye on us." Don't let us off a short leash, because we might go get in trouble. Darlene, the concerts you went to, it was sneakily passing the joint and everyone was doing it. So a cloud overhead everywhere. Security didn't catch many. Exactly. And, you know, that was the one thing that I really hated after this indoor smoking bans happened. Because back in concerts in the day, so many people would smoke cigarettes that it was easy. It was very difficult to tell, like, well, are they smoking cigarettes? Or are they smoking a joint? Are they smoking? Well, when it comes to the smoking ban, suddenly it's just like any glowing orange dot floating in the darkness. It's like, oh, well, they're lighting up. You know, they're not smoking a cigarette. They're smoking a joint. So, oddly enough, or not oddly enough, I guess, one of the downsides, though, to the indoor smoking bans at rock concerts was how much more difficult it made it to sneak in the joints. Exactly. Kenny from the Cove, tune in next week for another episode of Mad Statter's Rock Show Etiquette. Well, I don't know about rock show etiquette, but I will tell you this, and I don't know how many venues do this anymore, but if it's general admission on the floor, so you know you got the stage, you've got the floor, you've got the soundboard. If it's general admission and you want to go close to the stage, never ever ever approach the stage directly from the middle, because you're just going against the tide. You're fighting through a crowd of people. You'll never get there. You always just need to approach from the side. And you will get front row all the time. I cannot emphasize enough how important it is to approach the stage from the side. If you go straight on, you'll never get there. You'll waste all of your energy just trying to get to the stage, when really, once you get to the stage, you're going to need all your energy to keep yourself there. So I wouldn't really say it's like etiquette, more as like, here's a handy tip. Yeah, Darlene, passing low for sure, but you know, you got to take the hit to your face. And so eventually it does come within eyesight. Yeah, so let's see here. Andre, okay, in the middle of nowhere, full bar. Okay, wait, hold on. Okay, in the middle of nowhere, full bar. Okay, you can release Mad Statter and Poppy Shaney where they can. Oh, okay, Andre's got the plan. In the middle of a nowhere bar, you can release Mad Statter and Poppy Shaney. They can't break anything here. Who could know that they could destroy a car that fast? Oh yeah, for sure. For sure. Let's see here. Yeah, well, exactly, Andre. The last concert you went to was J-Boog and the Green at the Fox Theater, and we had seats. When I was a kid, I never understood why anybody would want seats at a rock show. Emphasis on when I was a kid. Suddenly, I absolutely understand why someone might want a seat at a rock show. Yeah. Yep. Let's see. So, well, okay, Andre, you can vape. Now you can vape, but back when they first banned indoor smoking, that was long before vaping was a thing. And vaping weed really wasn't possible. I was going to say possible until like 2008. So, you know, in Washington State, because that's when it was legal and you could get these products. So, there's like a decade gap basically where it's just like no smoking in the venue. Vaping hasn't been invented yet. So you're kind of stuck, you know? Andre, man, those Samoans can be rough when they want to get near J-Boot. And that's just the women. Well, yeah, I mean, if it's a cute boy on stage, of course you want to get closer to the stage. Duh. Let's see here. Pocola T, your college made the Playboy list of top party schools just before your arrival. Glad your parents didn't see that. Yeah, totally. But wait, I thought you went to... Wait, why did I think you went to Pacific Lutheran University? No, you went... Wait, what school did you go? Is that the Tacoma school? That wasn't the Tacoma school. Really? UPS was, yeah, okay, so it was UPS, University of Puget Sound. That, I had no idea that it was a party school, like, ever. Well, why didn't I apply there? That doesn't make sense. How did I not apply there? Okay, in the 70s it was. Okay. Well, I guess maybe it cleaned up its act since when I decided to get my act into school. So, let's see. Kenny from the Cove, the true concert warriors still got their smoke on after the band. Oh, for sure. It just was a little bit more difficult. I mean, absolutely, for sure. It was just a little more difficult. Which, game of cat and mouse always, right? I mean, maybe it's a good thing that Keola P's not here. I mean, I know Vanilla Coke Pepsi's here, so this is a questionable topic, I know, but hey. One of your high school coaches went to Puget Sound. Wow, really? Andre, Evergreen is where the rich hippies from the East Bay went. Yeah, Evergreen is where I went. But it was a cheap in-state school, so it was definitely not where rich people went from my zone. But I was told, and this does seem to play out still, the Evergreen State College, which was the college that I graduated from, the closer you were to the Evergreen State College, the worse its reputation was. So, the Bay Area was far enough away that, oh yeah, Evergreen's a pretty good school. By the time you got to the East Coast, like Vermont, it was considered this like super high-end, well thought, just a well-respected institution of furthering people's knowledge in an interdisciplinary fashion where you can study your blah, blah, blah. I mean, it was, considered the top-notch option in the United States for their, hippie offspring to consider. But for people who lived in Olympia, the locals, they referred to this school as where the dirt people lived. Yeah, we were dirt people. They didn't like us. They didn't think it was a good school at all. It was a very horrible, crummy, hippie school that filled their town with dirt people. Yeah. So Olympia definitely did not consider the Evergreen State College high end at all. Marmac, you almost went to UPS. Parents nixed it. Wazoo was closer to home. You were destined to attend a party school in either case, apparently. Now, Wazoo, that was a party school. WSU, the place we spoke of last week with the cheese, that school is in the middle of nowhere. Well, that's not really true. It's in the middle of a bunch of wheat fields. I mean, it is in the middle of nothing. And so consequently, the students there might drink a lot. And they do. And Wazoo, super party school. And oh my God, aren't all colleges party schools? Apparently not. But I can tell you this. At Evergreen, when I went there, drugs and alcohol were so rampant throughout the dorms that, or not dorms, but the housing that was on campus, that they actually had to designate drug and alcohol-free housing. And it was a very small percentage of housing, and some people got stuck in drug and alcohol free housing, and they were really pissed. But yeah, they actually had to designate drug and alcohol free housing, which then implies like, well, I guess it's okay for the rest of the housing to have, bongs in their front window or whatever. But yeah, really, aren't all colleges by definition party colleges? Exactly. Oh, gee, so it's like the People's Park in Berkeley of Washington colleges. I don't know what People's Park is, but yes, probably it sounds like it. Yeah, exactly. So Andre, your mom went to it, and I do love the ethnic studies, being that they started them in the U.S. a big way back in the 60s. And let's see here. So we've got, yeah, lots of college. And so, oh my God, I have to agree with you. In Madison, boy, they have a history. I was petrified when one daughter chose to go there. Huge Halloween parties, you name it. Yeah. Yep. Right. And then Maryland, oh shoot, I forgot about that. Okay, so Marmac brings up another good point. So back in the day, Washington's drinking age was 21, but Idaho's drinking age was 19. Well, Moscow, Idaho, and Pullman, Washington, I think were like, 12 miles apart from each other on one little freeway and, or highway, whatever. And so another reason why Wazoo was a party school is because it was legal to go drink one state over, and that state was just 8 miles away. That's another reason why Wazoo was absolutely a party school, for sure. Okay, so you're bringing us the knowledge that San Francisco State is not a party school? Okay, well, glad I didn't go there then. OG Sumo Vibe, when your son was considering colleges, we went to UC Santa Barbara because I heard it was a great academic school. First night there, his best friend got arrested at a frat raid. His first... All right, I cannot read except for when I can. Let's try it. OG Sumo Vibe says, when my son was considering colleges, we went to UC Santa Barbara because I heard it was a great academic school. First night there, his best friend got arrested at a frat raid. That was all she wrote for him going there. Yep, there you go. Oh, Pocola T, such a drag to go from Hawaii where it was 18 to Washington 21. No doubt. In fact, honestly, if I were you, I probably would have stayed in Hawaii just to go to college. But that's the kind of decision making I would have made when I was 18. So there you have it. Yep. Okay. So we've got 400 biddies dropped by Kenny from the Cove. Thank you so much. And Andre, yeah, the San Francisco State is not a party school, but they have the city of San Francisco to party in. Very true. Very true. And San Francisco is definitely an easy place to find somewhere to party. For sure. Oh my gosh, Andre, thank you so much for the 600 biddies. That is so fantastic. But you know what, you guys? All right, so looks like we've got a party started. We're sitting here talking about party schools, but it is time to wind down. We are 2 minutes past the bottom of the hour. I am so thankful that we got to hang out here today, and super stoked on the hair metal track that we got scattered onto. And yeah, you know, if you want to get me started on silliness, just, you know, get me started on rock shows, and I might have an embarrassing or telling story to tell. And that OZZY one is one of many, so I'm glad that you guys were able to get a kick out of my free beer story and the fact that you approved of me telling the young bucks to go party down. So yes, it is time to wind down. I'll see what you did there, Pocola T. Michibama, oh my god, thank you so much for the 750 biddies. That is so flippin' awesome. Okay, so next Wednesday, we are going to see each other 5 p.m. West Coast time, 3 p.m. Hawaii time, 8 p.m. on the East Coast. We're going to see each other here. And Saturday, I hope to see you guys at StatterBox at the cinema, 6 p.m. West Coast time, 4 p.m. Hawaii time, 9 p.m. on the East Coast. What are we going to watch on StatterBox? Let's find out. But before we find out, we're going to hang out on Wednesday and see what there is to talk about. So until then, have yourselves a great rest of the weekend. And Andre, thank you so much for the other 200 biddies. Thank you so much, you guys. Take care, and we will see each other soon.